Okay, so today is the World FSHD Day, and obviously, as many of you know, I've got FSHD, muscular dystrophy. I'll be honest, it isn't fun, and however much you see me doing lots of different things with the boys, the FSHD has a real big impact on my day and me being a parent. I'm in lots of pain, I always am, but the one thing that you guys don't really see, and something I don't really talk about, is how I fall over. So I'm going to show you how I fall over in a controlled fall, and then I'm going to show you what I have to do to then get back up, and I'm going to use a little bit of equipment that helps me do that. It's not going to be pretty watching. I'm going to do it as safely as I possibly can, but I feel this is something that you need to see because this happens to me several times a week. I'm really lucky as well today though, because I've got William helping me out on the phone, so he's going to be recording this all for you, and he's just going to make sure that I'm as safe as possible as well, so you don't have to worry too much. Okay, William, can you go back a little bit, and then I'm going to be ready to fall over. Okay, so I'm on the floor. Now that was fairly controlled, and when I say it's fairly controlled, it can be worse. If I'm not expecting it, I could fall over anywhere. The problem is that I can't actually independently stand back up again. So I've got this little bit of equipment here, and it's called an ELC, the Emergency Lifting Cushion. Now, you're probably thinking, why have I placed this in a really awkward, uncomfortable place in the hallway? Well, this is the central point of my flat. So if I fall over in any room, this is the shortest distance for me to drag myself to. And then I have to drag it to an area where I can use it, which is what I'm going to do now. So yeah, please just carry on watching. Right, I've dragged myself over into my lounge because I've got an armchair here which is a good height for me to stand up with. I do need to set up my lifting cushion, which I will explain how the different parts of that work. What I will say is you've just seen me drag myself across the floor. I don't have a lot of muscle strength in my arms. I can barely lift something like a pint of water in a pint glass because it's just too heavy, yet for some reason I can manage to drag myself across the floor, luckily enough. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start setting up the lifting cushion so you can then see kind of all the different parts to it. What we've got here is a 4-point valve. Now these get plugged into the cushion mat, and each one is numbered, so you've got different numbered sections for you to plug in, and then with the hand control you can then pump and raise yourself up. The big white box that I was dragging is the actual power pump. It is exceedingly heavy, it is difficult to move. The only thing I will say about this is that because it's heavy and for somebody who can't lift much, I have to physically drag this up onto the sofa for me to be able to use it, which you'll see in a minute. And then finally, this blue part here is the actual cushion mat. And this is what I'm going to have to sit on to raise myself up with. Now, as I said, on the tubes, you've got the tube that connects to the number, and then what I have to do is connect these up. So for example, this is yellow, number 4, it matches yellow, number 4. And all I'd have to do is just clip it in and then wait for it to actually click so it's in properly, and then it's plugged in. Now I've got to do that for each of these tubes, which will be a little bit tedious, but hopefully you'll just see where each section then can go into. We've done number 4, then match it up for number 3, number 2, and then finally for number 1. Okay, so that's set up. The next thing I need to do is put it behind me and then replace myself on it. So I'm going to get William to move over so you can then see how that's all in place. Okay, so I've got it flat. I'm going to put it next to the chair so it's easy for me to move over, and then I've got to place myself halfway onto the cushion. Okay, so this is probably the hardest bit that I find. It's the connecting this to the tube and then placing this up onto the cushion. Now, I'm pretty tired already, so I'm not going to see if I can lift that because it is pretty hard. But what I will do is I will plug it in, as you've seen, and this just clips onto the side just there, and it's nice and ready. What we do have is these little buttons. All tells you the control and then how to lift myself up. And then I'm ready to see if I can get back onto my seat. What's actually happening is that each of these buttons and tubes is raising up the particular level. So at the moment I'm only raising number 1. Now I'm going to raise number 2. Okay, I just need to reposition a little bit so it's safer for me. Okay, now I'm getting to the point where I can't reach down below, so I am having to move the charger box. Now, it can go up another level, but I'm not going to do that because I'm actually at the height of where the cushion is for my armchair. So all I've got to do now is just move and adjust myself over so I'm comfortable. Right, William comes over a little bit for me. I'm here now and I'm safely on my armchair. I'm exhausted. I've dragged myself across the room. That is the safest place for me to have my cushion and my battery pack, because if I fall over in my bedroom, I've got to cross 3 rooms. If I fall over in the kitchen, I've got to cross over more. It is tiring, but that's the safest way that I can do it. Drag myself off, I have to then put the attachments on, and it's incredibly physical. I'm extremely tired, but it's not over yet. I can sit here and rest, but the problem you see is I've still got the lifting cushion underneath me. So I've got to at least take it off, put it down, and get myself in a position where I'm willing to then stand up. Okay, that's put away. It hasn't taken too long. I'm now nice and safe. A few things you need to remember though. Sometimes when I fall, I can trap and hurt myself. So to physically be able to do this whilst being in pain, and even more pain than normal, or to do it with injuries, it's a lot of hard work. And this is something that happens to me 2-3 times a week, maybe more if I'm having a really bad MD week. Sometimes I'm lucky and I've got the boys here, and they're really helpful. They know how to set up the lifting cushion for me, and they can really help with getting the different bits together, making sure I'm safe and I'm comfortable. Sometimes though, I'm by myself. Sometimes I have an arm trapped and I have to roll. Sometimes I've hurt myself and I can't move. Sometimes just even trying to do this is too much energy. And sometimes it can happen late at night when I'm going to bed, and I've had a whole day where I'm exhausted and I'm tired and I still have to do this. This is what it's like for people who are still walking, who have the risk of falling over with muscular dystrophy. If you want to find out more, then I'm going to add a link to this video. I would love you guys to kind of join in now with the World FSHD Day. Get an orange slice, put it in and do an orange smile, and join us to find a cure. Thank you.